Look at me and tell me what you see. I look at you and tell you what I feel. Look at me and tell me what you see. I look at you and tell you what I feel.
What's up, guys? It's John Kill 3D Gaming here, and we're going to re-review Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now that the controversy has died down a lot, let's take a second look at the game that either you hate it, or if you play the game and you actually enjoy it and you just want to play the game that you'll get hated for playing it. I know I've been hated for playing it, but you know what? Tough shit. I'm gonna review the game or play the game as much as I damn well please. And most of the people who come at you for the game don't really have a good reason but other to insult you. So let's see if that happens now, if all these piss buckets have a problem with me re-reviewing the game. Now, this is a second look. Does it still hold up compared to the first time I reviewed it? I don't know. My mind may have changed. So I hope you guys enjoy the re-review, and we'll find out at the end. Battlefront 2 picks up right where the end of Star Wars Inferno Squadron, the novel, takes place. This picks up directly after that. For those of you who have read Inferno Squadron, you would be up to speed on the story of Iden Versio. For those of you who have not read Inferno Squadron, I'd recommend it. It's a good read and one of the best stories in the new Star Wars canon. But the only unfortunate part of this campaign is that it's not new player friendly. If you didn't read Inferno Squadron, you will be very lost as to what's going on, because the story mode will take you through the end of Iden Versio's journey, or toward the end, when the Resurrection campaign takes place, this is a two-part story. Now, the campaign itself isn't very difficult on normal, but you get greater length out of it when you play it on specialist difficulty, which is the intended way to play the game. Now, on normal, you'll get 4.5 hours, maybe 5. Playing it on specialist difficulty, you'll get 10 hours, and then when you play the story mode known as Resurrection, you get an extra 2 hours. So when you total the campaign, it's 12 hours, higher than any of the Battlefield campaigns and anything higher than the Call of Duty campaigns, which is really good because Star Wars Battlefront 2 has a nice visual flair. It looks and sounds like the films, and it leads perfectly into the Force Awakens timeline. And where Resurrection ends, it leads right into The Last Jedi. So the story mode here lets you play as many of the different characters that we come to love from the original trilogy on their own special missions. These are missions dating back to the comic books and the ending, which the one thing in the ending where it leads to The Force Awakens where you play as Kylo Ren, there was a lot of criticisms from my friend Robert Storms, who said that he didn't want Kylo Ren, thinking that Kylo Ren was going to interfere with the story, but happy that he only made one level at the end to make the game story tied to the film storyline, which it makes it all the more richer when you know where this story leads up. The characters, though I wish that the voice actors from the films would have done the roles, everyone here does a very serviceable job to the campaign itself. Now, for those of you who did not like the Inferno Squadron book or weren't a fan of it, to those who have read it, then you probably won't get much out of this story mode. This storyline is mainly for those people. Now, I hope that later down the line they add more missions to show you Iden Versio's campaign that she was in the book, because the book had a great value and the book really led into her character. That's probably why I had such an attachment to her once I played the game, because I knew where this was going to lead and I had a depiction of how Iden's story was going to go. So if you get the chance to play this game and you play the story mode, go into it, tone yourself back a little bit, especially if you're a newcomer. If you didn't read Inferno Squadron, you will be lost. You may get a kick out of it because it looks like a cinematic Star Wars story, which is really cool. We never had a thematic looking Star Wars presentated game before. The closest thing we ever got to was the Force Unleashed games, but unfortunately those were canceled. But It sets a prime example on how the story should be presented here. But if that's the one thing I critique the story mode for, I would say that it should have been new player friendly. It should have brought you up to the speed of Iden Versio's story, because if you were to have read Infernal Squadron, Iden Versio would have been a character you will to come to love like I have. From the game is a huge step up from the 2015 Battlefront. You have Galactic Assault, Starfighter Assault, the favorite hero versus villains, a new strike mode, and Blast, along with Arcade that has a co-op versus and a solo feature with its own battle scenarios, custom arcade, and tutorials. Now, that's a healthy dose of modes to have, along with Assault, Heavy, Officer, Enforcer, Aerial, Armored, Artillery, Speeder, and your varied of ships, because this game returns to the battle point system of the original Star Wars Battlefront 2, which hasn't been seen since 2005, along with 16 heroes and a nice dose of playable ships. So, how does this work so far? This is a healthy dose of heroes versus villains compared to the last game, and the class system is a welcome return to original form. This is what should have been in the 2015 game, but unfortunately it was not, with every character being able to level up on their own or by player means using the loot box, but we will get to that in a brief moment. Because every ship down to the detail and every character down to their very detail has been stylized in video game form. Now, when you play the game and you level up and progress, you will do series of challenges. These challenges will help you earn currency known as the credits in the Star Wars universe, and it'll help you earn crafting parts to unlock the cards that you need to upgrade your character, and weapons, weapon attachments, and different blasters for each and every single class, also to help you unlock certain cards for the starfighters and the heroes. Now, do the cards really affect the progression of the hero? Yes and no. Now, if you were to open up a crate and unlock a particular card, will it affect the character? Only by skill base, and I've tested this. I have the cards I need maxed out. Now, during a match, I took out all my powerful star cards, and I still played against people with purple tier star cards, and I was still able to win. So the only reason to open the loot box is really to get the extra credits or the extra crafting parts you need to upgrade the particular cards you want. These card systems, it's really about skill base more than anything, not making you stronger or not making your particular class any more powerful. As I have tested, it only affects the skills. If you do not have your skills, if you're not really good at the game, the cards are not going to make you better, because you can still be a no card tier playing character, take on a purple tier character that has everything maxed out because he decided to open up the boxes, but you can still beat him, which is a good thing that you're still able to beat an insanely powerful person, which shows that star cards are pretty much useless and don't have a lot of weight or power to them, though the illusion of upgrading your character is there. And now if you have the star cards and you have the skills, it will match up, and then yes, you will dominate as a hero or a different character class in the Battlefront. You will be able to dominate if your skills match to the cards you have chosen. It's all skill based, and that's the good thing. Skill is what it takes. The meat of this Star Wars Battlefront 2 is the multiplayer portion. And yes, multiplayer has been vastly improved over the 2015 version. Maps are more dynamic, more detailed. You know, the battles are more dynamic, feeling closer and closer to the films. And every match is very intense. Every match has you wondering, am I going to be able to get this guy? Am I going to be able to duck out of cover or roll out the way? You know, it takes a lot of skill, and it takes a good team, or if not, if you want to play on your own and fuck about, you can do that too. You know, playing through the best multiplayer mode, which is Walker Assault, which is more like a cinematic multiplayer objective based scenario. And then you have the basic modes like Blast, Strike. Then you have the what if scenario modes such as Heroes versus Villains, which is one of the favorite modes, and Starfighter Assault has been vastly improved as well to become a more objective base like Galactic Assault. Every map has its own nook and crannies. Every map, especially example Starkiller Base, it's so enclosed. It's almost claustrophobic to a degree, even with its widespread areas in there. Especially playing TDM Blast, you can really rack up kills if you know the terrain, if you know the halls, and if you know the right set of weapons for the job. I've racked up so many kills playing on Starkiller Base than any other map in the game. So Starkiller Base, you're my favorite. But when it comes to playing as the heroes and the villains, how do they control compared to the 2015 game? They control a lot better. They have their own powers, their own abilities, their own skill sets, and own introductions, dialogues, quips between each other, but they don't feel the same. Like, at least there's more than 2 lightsaber wielders compared to the 2015 version. There's Kylo Ren, Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Darth Maul, Rey, and Yoda. More than needed lightsaber characters, but hopefully with future characters coming, we'd get more lightsaber wielders. There's also more blaster wielders. Every character has become more well balanced than their 2015 counterparts. Even the new characters that join the fight have been well-rounded and well-balanced, and as updates continue to come and come and come, every character is being patched out thoroughly, and I have not run into any overpowered characters. It almost seems like a fair fight. Now, the only time you ever feel the star cards for the heroes is in this mode, but with everyone fighting each other at once, you really don't feel the difference, and these can lead to some of the most intense, thematic, heroes versus villains TDM matches, because it's basically TDM with heroes, but this is one of the best modes in the entire game. Overall, despite the controversy that has surrounded Battlefront 2, it is still a good game at its core, and a much needed improvement over Star Wars 2015. Now yes, it will never be Star Wars Battlefront 2 from 2005. No Battlefront game would be. But is this game something to dismiss? No, it is not, because the game is becoming more and more improved as time progresses. The star card issue, the loot system, it's becoming less and less as time is passing. And this game has a lot of potential and a lot of unseen potential that's become more unraveled. And what will this game look like at its maximum potential? It has the potential to be a secondary contender to the original game, but never surpass it. It will only stand alongside it. So, Star Wars Battlefront 2 2017. Yes, like I said, despite the bullshit, my mind for the game has not changed. And that doesn't make you a fanboy of EA if you just want to play the game. So don't let the naysayers and don't let the haters deter you from playing the game, okay? There is such thing as being able to play a fun game, and a really fun Star Wars game at that, without being labeled. But in this generation, you cannot do anything without being labeled. And you know what? That comes with the territory. Star Wars Battlefront 2, my score may have changed slightly for Star Wars Battlefront 2. I once said that it was an 8.5, or I think an 8. It falls still solid on an 8. And with the improvements coming, it's really good. So, this is John with John Kill 3D Gaming. And remember, you guys, play your games, don't play corporate, let the haters die, or let the haters fuck off. And until next time, guys, I hope you guys really enjoyed this review.